So our next step is going to be to generate views and controllers for our models. And this is actually super slick because it's going to generate all of our code. And then we just kind of go in and customize the models or the views. So we're going to right click on controller, going to add, and we are going to pick new scaffolded item. We want an MVC5 controller with views using Entity Framework, and we're going to click on Add. Now we need to pick the model that we're basing the controller and view on. So I'm just going to start with course. And we need to select our data context class. If you remember, that was school context. Okay, and we want all of our checkboxes on. And the convention for the controller name is to put an S in there. And we are going to remove the S. And if you forget when we go to add to the menu, you just need to make sure that you use whatever you did for the name of the controller. But you'll notice we don't have homes controller, we just have home. So we're going to try to do it consistently. And so right now it's generating our controller and our views. And once those are generated, you'll see we have a course controller. And there's all sorts of interesting code in here, which we will be looking at in upcoming weeks. And then if you look down here under views, it's giving us the CRUD operations. So we have an index, but then we've got the index will allow us to create, but then it also has a link to edit, to details, and to delete. And you'll see that when we run the app. But we're going to go ahead and generate two more. So we're going to right click on controllers, add, and new scaffolded item. This is an MVC5 controller with views using Entity Framework. We already did courses, so now we're going to do enrollment. And we still want school context. That is correct. We want all the checkboxes on. We're going to come down here, and we're going to get rid of the S. So it just says enrollment controller, and we're going to add. And this is going to generate the same thing as it did for course. So we're going to have an index, and then we're going to have all of the CRUD operations as well. And we're going to do one more. And so this one is going to be student. School context is correct. Checkboxes are on. And let's get rid of the pluralizing. And so at this point, we have code generated for all three. And if you look here, it's all tied to the model. So for the index in student, we are sending a list of students tied to the model. And then if we come down here and we take a look at student index, you can see that we have the first column in our table. It's pulling the display name from the model, and then it's actually displaying model data. Okay, and you will be learning about the HTML helpers and attributes in a couple weeks. You'll also learn how to make changes to them. Uh, what we're going to do next is modify our layout to include the index for the student, the courses, and the enrollment. And I don't think, let me save all. I don't think that we have layout open. So let me open mine up. Okay, so right now we've got only home, about, and contact. So I did provide this for you. I'm going to copy and paste this bold-faced. Whoop, try it again. Our bold-faced text. And let me paste right below here. So now I've got students. Remember, the first thing is what shows in the menu. Then you've got your action method, and then you've got your controller. Now, when I created those controllers, generated them using scaffolding, I took the S out. So I have student, course, and enrollment. If you forgot to do that, you need to make the adjustment here. I'm going to save. I'm going to quick run a build. And now I'm going to run my app and test it. So home, about, and contact are going to display fairly quickly. Um, if we select students, courses, or enrollment, it's going to take a while because it's got to generate the database. So I'm going to go ahead and pause because I clicked on students and it does take a while for it to come back. Oh, that was actually fairly quick. I lied. Okay. So here is a student. And you can see that it's showing what we had in our initializer. And let's go to edit. And we'll just add a little middle name here, Peppy Q. Let's save it. And now you can see that that worked. Go to details. It does let us edit or back to the list. And then if we wanted to delete, we can. I'm going to create a new person. And we'll just say, let me create. So we should see Scooby-Doo. And then let me delete Scooby. All right, so CRUD operations work. I'm going to add Scooby back. And then we'll go to courses. So these are our courses. And let me add a new one. Course ID. See, I had web apps in there, so I'll do 190. And this is going to be JavaScript. Credits is 3. And we'll create. And then let's see. If we want to edit this, get rid of programming, save. Okay, so that works. And I could delete it as well. We'll just verify. Okay, so CRUD works on our courses. Let's take a look at enrollment. So Scooby doesn't have any enrollment, so let's create enrollment. And let's add Scooby, leave the grade blank. And we'll do another one. Okay, so Scooby's got a couple. We'll edit this, give them a better grade, go to details, and then let's delete a grade. Okay, so that just verifies that all of the CRUD functions work. And typically when you have these, you do go in and do a little editing, just because the text that is displayed for your titles is something that you're probably going to want to customize and change. Okay, and that's just a matter of adjusting the views. But the logic that's in the controllers is pretty good, and you aren't going to have to make very many changes to those. And I'm going to exit out of here.